What's going on, everybody? This is Jeff with Living in Arizona, and today we're going to talk about Tucson. And the constant, never ending comment that always comes in about Tucson is Tucson ghetto, Tucson sucks, does Tucson suck? I've been hearing terrible things about Tucson. We're going to talk about Tucson in this video. We're going to look at some testimonials from other people besides myself, and then we're going to, we're going to let you guys decide. So here's a comment, just came in 2 hours ago, but this is a video that's been in the works for a long time. Here on Phoenix versus Tucson, living in Arizona, we talked about this. John Wolf here, he says Tucson is ghetto. You never mentioned the crime rate, says Tone Smith. Phoenix, Tucson will become an Agenda 21 metropolis, a glorious jail. You could just see there's lots of comments about how, there's some positive stuff about Tucson, but I keep hearing this not just on this video, but across the board. And so we're gonna kind of talk about this in this video. So let's go ahead and do that. If you're new to this channel, you can subscribe to Living in Arizona, or also keep up with us in our group Living in Arizona on Facebook. Link below in the comments. So we're going to talk about this from this forum. Here is where we're going to start. Tucson is not the city that it is cracked up to be. The only thing this city really has going for it is U of A. Most of Tucson is ghetto. This is not just, so this is, you're seeing this on Facebook, someone saying that, and you're seeing this now on citydata.com, people saying that. The only nice place to live in Tucson is north and northwest part of town, which we're going to use the map to go ahead and illustrate that. So much of Tucson is tagged up by the gangs. Tucson is basically gangland, Graffitiville. The city looks real nice when you are driving on the Interstate 10. In fact, it looks actually beautiful with the mountain backdrops. The problem starts when you start trying to get around Tucson. Tucson has no freeway system. It takes forever to get around anywhere in the city. There is so much start and stop driving in Tucson. It also is expensive driving anywhere in Tucson because all you spend in gas in driving in Tucson. So there's not this intricate freeway system like they have in Phoenix, where they have the 101, the 202, the I-10 that goes right through the bottom. And it's just, Phoenix has a very intricate super highways, right? So if we just pull this out here, basically the ghetto area for Tucson is south of the University of Arizona. So the second you get into this area here, so from basically the airport to downtown, you're going to have this area called the Fairgrounds, and you're going to have a couple other places that you're going to want to stay away from. Alvarion Heights. This whole area right here is really the central Tucson, South Tucson area is just where you don't want to be. And we'll go ahead and take the little orange guy and show you guys what it looks like down there. You can even see it's called the barrio. And what do you know about a barrio, right? Why do they call it barrio? So let's just go cruising through here. And you can see this is the kind of area you would get in South Central Tucson. You can see it's just, there's no trees, it's just dirt lots. There's downtown, but people living in these communities, they're not too thrilled with what they're coming across. I mean, even if you go on the other side of I-10, I guess it starts to get better the closer you go to the foothills. I mean, the foothills look nice, but this is Tucson. I mean, people have asked me many times why I don't talk about Tucson. It's not that Tucson's a bad place. It's just, it's got that reputation, and the University of Arizona, which is right here, is basically where it starts to get nice. There is a neighborhood around here that's pretty decent called Sam Hughes. So let's see if I can find Sam Hughes. So there's the Sam Hughes neighborhood. This is an older neighborhood that's closer to downtown next to U of A, and we'll go ahead and take a look here, and you can see it's kind of decent community. It's older. This is a older, nice community in Tucson. I just want to show you guys what it looks like driving around here. And so, I mean, you've got this mix between tropical, subtropical, and desert cactuses, right? Sam Hughes is one of the more central neighborhoods that's pretty decent. Now, if you're going to be living in Tucson and you want the real nice stuff without all the gangs and the problems that people consider dangerous, so basically this whole area, if I could just take a little magic marker and say from basically downtown Tucson to the airport, a lot of those neighborhoods from the 19 to the 10 is really, even the 210 right here, right next to the railroad tracks, you don't want to be, okay? So just if you can see my mouse, it's basically like right here, South Tucson. That's the area they're talking about when they're saying it's ghetto. Now there's other areas that are not so nice around Tucson, but for the most part, that's what makes up the big problem for people. Okay, now, so if you want some decent neighborhoods, there are nice places that you can live. And I'll show you some of them. So let's just show you how beautiful Tucson can really be. So Catalina Foothills, let's take the little orange guy and show you how beautiful Tucson can be. This doesn't look too ghetto now, does it? You can see these nice houses, beautiful landscape views. Look at that. Really nice communities. So this is Catalina Foothills. Tucson's over here, but gorgeous homes. And yeah, so that's the Catalina Foothills. Add that to your list of beautiful places. Now, we'll also check out another community north of Tucson. Oh, let me see if I can get this thing going in the right direction. Called Oro Valley. So Oro Valley is another beautiful place. I have not been to Oro Valley for quite a long time, but I do know that Oro Valley is a very beautiful place, and the people that I have spoken to about Oro Valley just stand by it and say it is just phenomenal. They love it. They have very little regrets about Oro Valley. Just look how beautiful that is. I mean, it's green, high desert. I mean, just look at these panoramas. Beautiful mountains. Lush desert, gorgeous, right? So that's Oro Valley. Now remember, this is north, just like they said in the comments. I mean, right next to that gorgeous golf course. So not all of Tucson is ghetto. But South Tucson, it's pretty bad. Another place that you may want to consider that's out there north also is called Dove Mountain. Dove Mountain's not quite as lush as Oro Valley, but it's really beautiful. It actually probably is about as lush. But I mean, they've built homes around here. You can get acreage. You just got to be ready to play with. You got to be bringing some big money to the table. So this is North Tucson again. I mean, you're almost getting closer to Phoenix by the time you get to Dove Mountain. Really, I mean, it's that far north. It's not quite to Phoenix, but you could see here's Picacho, and then Coolidge is. This whole area is entering into the Phoenix metro area. But if we go back down in here, so you've got Catalina, which is different than the Catalina Foothills. Let's go ahead and take a look at Casas Adobes. So this is a little bit further away from the foothills, but you can see, kind of get an idea of what you'd be looking at when you come here. Different than Phoenix because you get like a lot more acreage and landscaping and permaculture than you would get in Metro Phoenix. They don't have neighborhoods like this in most of Phoenix anymore. This is how old Phoenix used to look like in the north, but I mean, you can still get this in Phoenix and like New River, but Tucson still got the old Arizona style housing developments. And they're not even developments where you have custom homes and property. You can still get that in North Phoenix and New River and Cave Creek and stuff, but Casas Adobes would be another place you can add to the radar. And if you want to be further or more closer to Mount Lemmon, the Catalina Foothills, let's go ahead and take a look here. So another community. So basically, the closer you are to Mount Lemmon, the better the neighborhoods. And this is all not ghetto. The main point of this video is to show you that not all of Tucson is as ghetto as people make it out to be. But again, if you're going to be going to this area here that is central Tucson, South Tucson, you are going to not be a very happy camper. So again, anywhere, if you're near the airport, you're not going to be very happy with your lifestyle. There might be some communities in here that are decent. I mean, if you consider this a decent community, then go for it. But you can see it's gnarly. Look at it. I mean, this is what people are talking about. This is central Tucson, South Central Tucson. Just not, it reminds me of Sunny Slope in Phoenix. Do you really want to be living here? Where's the vegetation? It's dry, it's arid. I mean, the trees are barely hanging on. It almost looks like Las Vegas, right? But like I said, the closer you get to this mountain, it's called Mount Lemmon. That's this area: Tanque Verde, Catalina Foothills, Casas Adobes, Oro Valley, Catalina, Dove Valley, Dove Mountain, which is not necessarily next to Catalina; it's its own mountain, right? So there you go. Now, and just to kind of show you where all this is coming from, Tucson, a nice place, but you wouldn't want to live here. Apparently, city ranking season is a thing, and it's in full swing. No fewer than a dozen such lists grading cities by their livability have published this summer, each more far-reaching and impractical than the last. The most recent of these 50 worst American cities to live in includes one Arizona city, Tucson, which appears near the middle of the list at 28. And then you can see here there's other conversations taking place about people who are going to go to Arizona State or University of Arizona saying, is this really ghetto? Is Tucson really ghetto? Because, depending on what side of, are you going to live north of U of A? Are you going to live east or west of U of A? Or are you going to live south? Depending on where you're located, you're going to have a different opinion about U of A. So basically, north and west, or north and east is where you're going to want to go. If you're going to go east and south, you're going to go of U of A, that's when you're going to start to have a miserable experience. So maybe paying that extra $100 a month in rent, if you're thinking about attending University of Arizona, do not go south and east, or south and west. Okay, southwest. Go north and east. So north or east of U of A. That's basically going to, it's like choose your apartment and choose your fate, And you can see there's even these other things that you need to know about the worst neighborhoods in Tucson. This is on Road Snacks. They've done a pretty accurate job of saying the 10 worst, neighborhoods based on data. Fairgrounds, which we talked about earlier. El Presidio, Alveron Heights, Parkway Terrace, Santa Rita Park, Roberts, Sunset Villa, South Park, Balboa Heights, Myers. So there you go. And you can see what are the best parts of Tucson. You can see on Quora, they've said a lot of different places, but for the most part, it's going to end up going back to the Catalina Foothills, Oro Valley, Dove Mountain, and some of those areas up against the Santa Catalina Mountains. And they're talking about if you are of good income, then North Tucson is for you, which includes Marana, north to Oro Valley, and further north is nice. Or if average income, southwest headed west on Ajo. So the further south you go also, because here's Marana, right? That's the area they were just talking about. That's north. But this area that they're talking about that's also pretty decent is south, this area. So once you get a little bit further south and west, it starts to get nice again. Like this right here. So this is southwest. But even then, you're basically probably going to want to go north. I mean, but this neighborhood's not too terrible. This is on Los Reales Road. Let's see if we can get into some of these. Sierra Sagrada. I mean, this is an okay community, but it's not what you're going to. They're saying if you can only afford so much, that you might consider this. I mean, you're not going to be dealing with as much gang activity as you would be if you were in South Central Tucson. So for the most part, there you go. I mean, the best neighborhoods, essentially right here. You got Central, so the central part of Tucson, if you must live close to U of A, you're going to want to be in Sam Hughes. Also consider Armory Park, Barrio Historica, and Blenman Elm. Northwest, Dove Mountain, which we've already talked about, Rancho Vistoso. North, Catalina Foothills, we already talked about that. East, El Encanto. South, Savano. And Rita Ranch. So let's see if we can find Savano on this map. So Savano. Right here. So this is basically up against the Catalina Foothills again. And you're going to see it's a nice community, actually. I mean, it's kind of green, too. Let's take a look. Anytime you got these Palo Verdes in bloom and mesquite trees in bloom, that's a good sign. Gorgeous community. So check out Savannah, but it's up against the Catalina Foothills. So there you go. I mean, you've got a little bit more understanding, and then some of you guys are going to want to go down to Green Valley, which is also pretty. It's nice. It's nice. Green Valley is a decent place to live, but it's pretty far south out of Tucson. But look at this. I mean, it's a little bit elevated, so you got nice views. Green Valley, you can add that to your list of nice places. And if you really want to go further south, you can come into places like, Sal Rita is a good place to check out too, but where's Sierra Vista here? Oh, Santa Rita Foothills, they're also saying that's a nice place to consider. They've also got a vineyard over there. Where's Sierra Vista around here? There it is. Sierra Vista is pretty close to Mexico, which some of you working for the Border Patrol may be looking at Sierra Vista. It appears as though whenever you see these mobile homes, you're going to have an older population. So this is Sierra Vista. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Share your thoughts. Do you think Tucson's ghetto? Do you think I'm off my rocker and making this video for someone who's making the claim? I'm not really calling Tucson ghetto. I'm saying that there are parts of Tucson that are problematic, which has led to people calling Tucson ghetto. But overall, North Tucson is really beautiful. Some might even say it's more beautiful than even the best places in Phoenix, which would be Scottsdale, right? So is Oro Valley more sought after than, say, Scottsdale? Is Dove Mountain better than Desert Mountain? You know, it depends on what you're looking for. Are you looking for amenities and modern amenities? Tucson doesn't have that. They don't have a pro sports team. They don't have these big, they don't have the big league stuff that Phoenix has. But do you want peace and relaxation? You might find that in places like Oro Valley and Dove Mountain and some of these other communities that go way up in the foothills of the Catalina foothills. So we'll see you guys next time, and thanks to everyone who's been subscribing to the channel and liking these videos. Watch some of these other videos on this channel.